Welcome to DrupalBrief. This is an AI-generated summary of another video, podcast, or blog post. If you want to learn more about what's being discussed here, then please go check out the source. This podcast is sponsored by Drupal Forge. Drupal Forge is an open-source, lightning-fast demo, development, and testing platform. It spins up Drupal sites in less than 5 seconds, complete with a browser-based VS Code. Want to try Drupal CMS, Drupal AI, Experience Builder? No need to install anything on your laptop. Drupal Forge has you covered. Even Composer, Drush, and AI keys are pre-installed so you can hit the ground running. Demo Drupal in less than 5 seconds only at Drupal Forge. Please take a second to click subscribe. We're a new podcast and this helps us a lot. Okay, that's it. Ready? Here we go.
We're all drowning in information these days, aren't we? Just constantly looking for that shortcut, A way to just cut through all the noise and get the answers we actually need quickly. Clearly. So today, we're going to dive deep into something that promises exactly that. We're talking AI-powered chatbots, specifically how they work within Drupal and how they're really shaking things up for users and for how organizations operate. Our mission here is to unpack how this tech works, why it's becoming so critical, and what it really means for anyone trying to navigate complex information or deliver it effectively.
Yeah, you've really hit on something crucial there. The amount of digital information is it's staggering. And user expectations have completely shifted. That old way of, clicking through pages of search results, that's fading fast. What's really transformative about these solutions is how they cut through the noise, like you said, and give you precise information right when you need it. It really changes the game.
Oh, absolutely. You can feel that shift, can't you? I mean, think about using ChatGPT. You ask a question, you expect a direct answer, right? Not just a list of links. And now you see those AI summaries right at the top of Google search results. It's not just nice to have anymore. It's fast becoming the standard. If your website or platform isn't doing that, you're kind of already falling behind.
And it's not just users demanding it. There's significant push from the top down, too, especially in government. We've seen clear signals to things like Executive Order 41110 and then 44179 later on, basically telling agencies you need to start using AI. Then you have OMB memorandums like M28521 pushing AI use and M2422 setting guidelines for doing it responsibly. Plus, they just launched useai.gov as a resource hub for agencies. Getting compliance a big deal, so ready-made solutions, they're incredibly valuable.
Wow, yeah, that's a huge task for any agency. And it's interesting how this tech directly tackles so many common frustrations. I remember wasting an hour trying to find one specific form on this enormous government site, just clicking and clicking, feeling totally lost. A chatbot could have saved me so much time and, frankly, frustration. What are some of those sort of universal pain points where this really makes a difference?
It's exactly those kinds of things. Think about trying to navigate massive, super complex websites, maybe government sites, maybe large corporate ones, where important info is buried deep, maybe in some PDF from 10 years ago nobody even remembers posting. Or those endless FAQ pages that, never quite answer your specific question. And beyond the public side, think about internal help desks. They often get swamped with the same questions over and over. This tech can handle those, freeing up employees for more complex, more impactful work. So the goal is really a win-win. Make information easier for the public to get and, at the same time, reduce the burden on the organization. Let people innovate. And what's really striking about this specific solution we're looking at today is how fast you can get it running. We're talking under an hour for the total setup. And the Drupal part, just about 5 minutes?
Under an hour, seriously. That speed could totally change how agencies react to new needs, bypassing those long setup cycles. So what is the engine driving this? What's the core tech we're actually talking about here?
Right, so we're focusing on a specific Drupal 10 and 11 contrib module. It's called AWS Bedrock Chat. Basically, it's a really solid wrapper for AWS Bedrock, designed to let you easily integrate and customize these powerful AI features right into your Drupal site. What's kind of fascinating is where it came from. This module actually existed before AWS released their own official Bedrock AI module. And while the official AWS one is still in beta, and some early users have found it a bit complex, this community-driven one, it's considered production-ready. It really filled a need, showing that agility you get from the Drupal community. It's got this simple 3-step process: download, install, place the block. That's how you get that 5-minute Drupal setup.
That's pretty cool, actually. A great example of open source stepping up. So once it's installed, what can it actually do? What are the key capabilities that make it so potent?
Well, foundationally, it's very robust. It works with a bunch of the advanced language models available through Bedrock, things like Llama models, Mistral, Claude. But the real game changer, I think, especially for organizations, is how it uses retrieval augmented generation, or AG. RAG basically connects those powerful general AI models to your specific authoritative information. So organizations don't need to do costly retraining of huge models. They just point the AI to their own verified content. Could be knowledge bases, could be folders full of files on S3. This means the answers are based on your facts, which dramatically reduces the risk of the AI making things up or hallucinating.
Okay, so instead of just creating an answer from thin air, it's actually looking at and citing the organization's own trusted documents. That's huge for reliability.
It's all about grounded, verifiable answers.
Yeah.
And beyond RAG, it also supports agents. I like to call them little task rabbits. They're basically tools that can automate complex, multi-step jobs. They can even have sub-agents for really intricate workflows. Imagine an agent getting a request, then triggering another agent to find data, and a third one to draft a reply. All automated. Frees up your staff for, the creative, strategic stuff. Plus, it handles multiple languages really well. It automatically detects the user's language and replies in kind. Big boost for accessibility. And it's all built securely using the AWS PHP SDK with things like Signature v4 protocol for encrypted communication and API checks on every single request.
That flow, how the question travels, is always the interesting part. Now that we know what it can do, let's sort of pull back the curtain. Walk us through that journey step by step. How does it work under the hood?
Sure. It's actually a pretty sophisticated path, but designed with security at each step. First, the user types something into your Drupal site. That input goes straight to AWS Bedrock, the AI engine. But, and this is crucial, before it even hits the language model, it passes through AI guardrails. Think of these as security layers that define what users can ask, blocking inappropriate questions or attempts to get sensitive data. From there, it goes to OpenSearch, which acts as the vector storage. That's where your files, your knowledge bases, are turned into numerical representations. Basically, numbers the AI can search really quickly and intelligently, much better than just keywords.
So it's like translating all your documents into a language the AI understands perfectly for super fast searching.
Precisely. Then the potential answer comes back, but it goes through the guardrails again for output checks. This is vital. It scans for and blocks sensitive stuff like personally identifiable information, PII, social security numbers, maybe certain FOIA-exempt content from ever getting back to the user. Only after that check does it go for final processing via Bedrock and then back to Drupal to be displayed.
So checkpoints on the way in and on the way out. That sounds incredibly thorough, especially for handling sensitive government data. How does this architecture specifically meet those tough compliance needs?
Yeah, the built-in security is a major advantage, and it's really rooted in compliance thinking. One key thing, the Drupal module itself doesn't persistently log the user's queries. That helps with privacy and reduces local data risks. For government clients, it can run an AWS GovCloud, even using a FedRAMP partition, hitting those high federal security bars. Look, getting things like Tech 3.0, that's trusted internet connections and FedRAMP compliance, that's heavy lifting for agencies. A solution like this helps enormously because it builds in those security patterns from CISA right from the start. You've got the SIG v4 encryption for data in transit, plus those guardrails for PII blocking, topic filtering, content checks. Now, other cloud providers have security layers too, of course. But the way this module integrates tightly with AWS, especially features like GovCloud and FedRAMP, makes it particularly well suited for these regulated environments.
Okay, theory is great, but what does this actually look like in the real world? Let's talk impact. Can you give us some concrete examples? Show us the versatility here.
Absolutely. Use cases are really diverse, which is exciting. Let's take the GSA, the General Services Administration. Imagine a federal employee just types in their travel plans. Instantly, they get a personalized cost breakdown, calculates their per diem for meals, lodging, everything. Simple. Or think about GSA contracts. They're notoriously complex, right? A chatbot can act as a clause explainer, translating dense legal jargon into plain English. That saves a ton of headaches. Then there's the CPSC, Consumer Product Safety Commission. Users could quickly check for recalls, like is this new vacuum safe, or what are the latest rules for fireworks safety? Get an immediate official answer. The IRS, imagine tax season. A chatbot could help demystify complex tax codes based on your specific situation, filing status, dependence, whatever. Think of the time saved for everyone. Or Veterans Affairs, a chatbot helping vets with benefit questions. But here's a really powerful addition, tone detection. If a user sounds distressed or very frustrated, the bot could recognize that, and instead of just a standard reply, it could offer to escalate them to a crisis hotline. That's going beyond just information retrieval.
Wow, that tone detection that's incredibly thoughtful.
It really is. And think beyond federal, too. State and local agencies. You could have virtual librarians available 24/7, chatbots helping with applications for Medicaid or unemployment, or simplifying DMV processes. Imagine asking, what exact documents do I need for my driver's license renewal? And getting a clear checklist. Less frustration, fewer wasted trips. And it's not just for the public. Internal use is huge, too. Agencies can use chatbots internally for things like data quality checks before publishing content. Or sanity checks. Does this draft message align with our official policy? It can guide employees on procedures, answer common staff questions, cutting down internal help desk loads significantly. Again, freeing people up for higher value work.
That ROI point, freeing up smart people for innovation, that's a massive benefit right there.
Okay, let's dig into setting it up and tweaking it. You said 5 minutes on the Drupal side. What does that really involve? And how much control do you get over how it looks and, more importantly, how it behaves?
It genuinely is pretty straightforward for the Drupal part. You enable the AWS Bedrock chat module, you place the block where you want it, sidebar, footer, wherever. Then you configure it. Point it to your knowledge base ID or your agent ID, tell it the AWS region. For authentication, best practice of production is using an AWS profile, not putting access keys directly in the config. Better security. Then the knowledge base. This is where you centralize your content, PDFs, Word docs, maybe even images. It creates that vector storage we talked about, making it all searchable for the AI. The CPSC demo, for instance, just use public files from their website. Quick note. Knowledge bases are great for static files, but if you need to crawl websites or HTML pages for dynamic info, an agent is usually the better tool. And guardrails, again, are crucial, not just for security, but for tuning the experience. You can set content filters, block specific topics or words, deny sensitive info queries. You can even add reasoning checks to try and prevent the AI from hallucinating or going off topic. Keeps it focused, keeps it safe. Then there's the really interesting part, agents and tone. Remember that salesman for the agency example? Using emojis, sounding beyond thrilled. That shows you can really tailor the persona. You can adjust the tone for specific audiences. Maybe simpler language for kids, more technical for experts. You make sure the message lands without, alienating people. It gives you precise control over that communication style.
Being able to shape the tone is really powerful for different contexts.
Exactly. And the visual customization is there too.
Yeah.
Change colors, the welcome message, the window size, even the little icons. Maybe make the response icon look like your agency's logo. All done right in Drupal, so it feels seamless. There's also transparency. The chatbot can show links to the source documents it used, so users see exactly where this information is coming from. Builds trust. And just to mention it again, multilingual support is built in. Detects language, replies in kind. You can tweak the initial prompts based on your site's languages too. Finally, data collection. For privacy, the Drupal module itself doesn't store the conversations. But on the AI side, like in AWS CloudWatch, you can set up logging for anonymous user data. This lets you track the prompts and responses with that PII to see what people are asking, where the bot struggles, and use that insight to improve things. That feedback loop is vital.
That's a fantastic level of control, blending ease of setup with deep customization and strong security. Looking at the whole picture, what really stands out to you as the absolute key for organizations wanting to maximize the value here, and what's next?
The number one thing, above all else, it's data curation, honestly. You need the cleanest data, the best structured data, ideally with metadata tagged appropriately. Even the smartest AI model works best with high-quality input. Garbage in, garbage out still applies. Good data is the fuel. Second, using explicit system prompts. These are like high-level instructions you give the AI that override anything the user can do. They boost efficiency and act as another layer of guardrails. And good news, an upcoming update to the Drupal module will let you set these system prompts right from the Drupal interface. Even easier. Third, observe and iterate. You absolutely have to look at those anonymous user logs, CloudWatch, or whatever you set up. If you see, 50 people have a headache trying to find the same piece of information and failing, that's your signal. Time for a content update. That feedback loop makes the bot and your content continuously better. Fourth, role-based access. Apply the least privilege principle to your agents on the AI side. And another upcoming Drupal feature is allowing each individual block to have its own unique configuration. This means you could have multiple chatbots, maybe one public, one internal for HR stuff only employees should see, maybe a specialized one for engineers. Very flexible. From a compliance angle, the system is already designed to meet most of the OMB memorandums and executive orders for responsible AI. It's got advanced guardrails, supports GovCloud and FedRAMP, adheres to standards like FIPS 142 for encryption, A lot of that compliance heavy lifting is baked in. And looking ahead at the roadmap, we expect those system prompts in Drupal soon, options for full-page chat interfaces, not just pop-ups, assigning individual knowledge bases or agents per block, and integration with third-party tools like ThemeChat for deeper JavaScript customization. But stepping back, the really big picture here, it boils down to ROI, return on investment. Yeah, AI is exciting tech, but the goal isn't just doing AI, it's about getting real value. You can measure it in website metrics, sure, but maybe the most critical ROI is freeing up your smartest people, your smart thinkers, from repetitive, mundane tasks. Let them focus on innovation, on strategy, on pushing the organization forward. That's where the real lasting transformation happens.
What an incredible overview. It's clear how these AI chatbots in Drupal aren't just a small tweak. They're fundamentally changing how we access information. From meeting shifting user expectations to the robust security, the diverse applications across government and beyond, the potential to streamline everything and improve experiences is just huge. We've seen it can be surprisingly easy to start, incredibly customizable, and the impact both for the public and internally seems profound.
Absolutely. And I think the key takeaway is that it's not just about adopting AI for AI's sake. It's about being strategic. Using these tools thoughtfully to make knowledge more accessible, yes, but also more secure and truly actionable. It's about empowering users, sure, but also freeing up your own internal teams to focus on the next big thing, on that transformative work. Really, it's about thinking differently about how you deliver and how you consume information, turning that overwhelming flood of data into genuinely useful, actionable knowledge.
That is a wrap on today's Drupal brief. Remember, this was an AI-generated summary, so be sure to check out the original source for the full story and all the details. Before you go, if what you heard today got you excited about trying something new in Drupal, remember that Drupal Forge has you covered. Whether you want to test that new module, demo a concept to your team, or just explore the latest Drupal features, you're literally 5 seconds away from a fully loaded development environment. No downloads, no setup, no hassle. Just pure Drupal innovation at your fingertips. If this episode was helpful, please hit that subscribe button and leave us a review. It really helps other Drupal developers discover the show. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next Drupal Brief.